Alright, welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up automated client form submissions. So say a client submits a form on Bubble, or a new customer is created. Zapier actually automates that and auto fills it into a Google Sheet. So I'll show you a quick example. So let's just say some dummy data here. And we'll go submit. As you can see, we get a success message, and then we head over to our Google Sheets and we can see that newly created customer there, just like so. All right, I'm going to exit off that and let's actually get to building here. So the first thing we need to do is we actually need to create a data type here, guys. So I just have a blank canvas. And we need to create a data type, and that's going to be of type customer. So this is basically what we're storing the fields in. So we have obviously a customer has a name. That's going to be of type text. We have an email, also of type text. And then we have a phone number, which for this video is also going to be of type text. All right. The next thing we actually need to configure here, we'll just focus on the UI here. I'm not focused on the UI one bit here, guys. I'm just, showing you how to use the logic and the actual workflows. But I'll quickly make a form here. So just follow along. We'll set up a form with a 596. We're just going to set a fixed width here, 596, and a fixed height of 596. Give us a bit of room to work with. We're going to add 32 padding all around, like so. And on this group here, guys, we want to set a type of content. That's going to be to our newly created customer data type. And while we're going on the actual page itself, the index page, we're going to set a type of content also to customer. All right, now let's add in some inputs here. As I said, not focus on the UI one bit, guys. Obviously, if you were actually making this a live application, you would need to spend some more time on this. So let's say input name, just copy and paste, input email, let's copy and paste, and the last one, let's just say phone number. And I'm gonna hit the group customer and apply a 48 row gap, just like so. And then we're gonna add a button here just to say create new client, or this doesn't matter, whatever it's called, but I'm just gonna call this update customer, just like that. Bit of spelling issues, there we go. And then on the actual form, I'm just gonna fit height to content, untick that. And then there we go. Just as I said, not focused on the UI sort of one bit, guys, more focused on, providing you with the workflows and logic. All right, now we need to do a couple more things before we actually move over to Zapier and set it all up. So on our Bubble application, we need to go to the settings tab here, and we need to go to the API section, and we want to enable the data API here. So let's tick that. Privacy warning, got it. And we want to tick the customer option here. So these are basically our data types, the only two that we have in our newly created application. So we want to hit customer. And the next thing we need to do is, for this video, we actually need to be on the starter plan here, guys, but you can get a 2-week free trial, and then you can obviously cancel whenever you want, and Bubble won't charge you. Just for the sake of this video, you can upgrade it to that trial and follow along. So we need to upgrade this to a starter plan here. And then we are getting ready to go here. So how do we actually connect our Bubble app to Zapier? Well, Bubble actually makes a Zapier plugin, as you can see. It's like this. I'll uninstall this, so I'll show you how to find it. So we're going to hit add plugins, and we can search for Zapier, like that, and install. All right, now we have a name. This is basically just to name the workflow here. So we're going to name this, let's just say, new customer. And the trigger type, we have a user and a customer. Once again, these are our two data types in our database. we're going to hit customer here. And then that is basically all the setup we need for the plugin. But the next thing we need to do is actually set this workflow up. So on the button update customer, I'm going to add a workflow. All right, now let's actually get into it. So when a button update customer is clicked, what do we want to do? We want to create a new thing. That's going to be a customer. So we're creating a new customer and basically sending all this data to Zapier. So the email is going to be input emails value. The name is going to be input names value. And the phone number is going to be input phone numbers value. And then the next step is we want to trigger a Zapier Zap, as you can see. So once we create that, or we add that plugin and we create a new Zap in Bubble, this will show here. So trigger a Zapier Zap. The Zapier trigger is new customer. That is that newly created one we just made here on the plugin section. And then the Zap thing is going to be the result of step 1, create a new customer. Just like that. So we have that set up now, guys, and let's actually give this a preview. So let's preview this, and we're just going to say a bunch of dummy data here, testy at gmail.com, phone number, absolutely random once again, update customer. As you can see, the Zap you tried to trigger has no active Zaps. This is basically the message that we expect because we haven't set anything up on the Zapier end. All right, now we need to go into Zapier here. So search up Zapier, and this is it here, guys. Create a new account. I'm currently logged in, so I'll continue, but create a new account, and then it will take you to a dashboard page just like this. And then we can get to actually building it. So once you've signed up, you can sort of use it. It's a freemium sort of model. It's kind of like Bubble. You can sort of use a certain amount of, Zaps. So a Zap in Zapier is basically a workflow. So you can use a certain amount. It's kind of like the freemium. So pretty much like Bubble. So let's press this orange button, create here. And we're going to create a Zap. As I said, this is a workflow. Now we have a couple triggers here, or a couple nodes. So the first node, we're going to search, as you can see here, we have a Bubble sort of like already node, but for the video's sake, let's search Bubble here. And then what we have is an event type. So trigger event is going to be a new workflow trigger event. And the account here, I've already got this set up, guys, but you have to just sign in with the same email you use for your Bubble.io account. Basically, it just takes you to like an auth page and it links it together. It's sort of seamless and yeah, it does it really quickly. So set that up. And we're going to continue here. And we have a few required fields, as you can see, with that little orange asterisk next to them. The first one is the app ID. And the app ID is basically just the name of our app. So I called it My App Zapier, as you can see top left. So we can actually search for that app here. So we have Zapier. The app version is going to be development ID version test. Now, what does that mean? Basically, when we just previewed that app here, you can see in the URL string, we have version test. This basically means that, we're in development and this is not a live functioning sort of application yet. If you wanted it to be, you'd obviously have to change that to live, and then it would show in Zapier and you could change it to that. So we have development, and then the Zap ID. As you can see here, we have a new customer Zap ID. We're going to press that here, and we have all that set up. So that Zap ID was, that new Zap we named in our plugin section here. As you can see, just like that. All right, now back in Zapier, we're going to go continue, and now we can actually test the trigger. So let's test the trigger. And as you can see, we have a Bubble Zap A. So that is basically that sort of already previewed field that we just did with all these details here. So the testing 45. So it's actually stored that data because we created that in our Bubble database in the workflows. So as you'll be able to see here, we've got that stored in the bubble database. So it's actually referencing that in Zapier, just like that. So let's hit continue with selected record. And now this is where we move on to our Google Sheets. Now we can actually search an action here, We can actually search an app. So let's say Google Sheets. And what do we want to do here? The app is Google Sheets, just like that. The action event is going to be create a spreadsheet row, like so. So that basically means that we're creating a new customer on a new spreadsheet row. And the account, I've already linked mine up, guys. You have to do the same thing. It's very seamless. You just sign into your Gmail and it will link it all back to Zapier. So let's go continue, like so. And then the drive is my Google Drive. So once you sign up with Google, as I said in that previous step, you'll have access to all this. The spreadsheet. Now what we can do here is let's actually go to Google Sheets. Google Sheets, sign in, and let's actually just create a new spreadsheet here, and we'll call this, just let's say Zappy or something like that, just like that. All right, now what we can actually do is let's go back into our Zapier, and then let's search. We'll refresh results because we just made that, and then as you can see, we have that Zappy that we just made there. And the worksheet is sheet 1. Now basically all that means is on our Google Sheets, we have sheet 1. You can create multiple sheets in Google Sheets. So you could store an email on one sheet. You could store a name, a phone number. But yeah, that is all that means. So we have sheet 1 selected. And then let's actually add a couple headers here. So let's just say, first one, we'll say name. And then we'll say email, and then we'll say phone number, just to make it a little bit better. We have 3 fields just like that. All right, now back in Zapier, let's continue. And then let's actually give this a test. So let's see if that has worked. Don't have any data in there for now. It's ID 2. All right, let's actually just press publish now on that one, guys. So this will work now when we actually go back into our application here. And then let's let this run again. So the name, let's just say, actually, the first thing we need to do here, guys, is go back into our Zapier. And we're going to refresh this here just because I just did them fields here. So them fields I just added in, as you can see, the name, email, and the phone number. We need to actually link them together. I got a bit excited there. So the name, let's press the plus here. And this is going to be our name field that's pulled in from that data that we created when we went to sign up. The email is going to be the testing email. And the phone number is going to be the phone number, just like that. As you can see, we now have all these data fields actually mapped correctly. Now let's go continue. Now let's retest the step, and this will work perfectly. So let's go back into that Google Sheet. As you can see here now, guys, we have that name, the email, and we have the phone number. All right, now let's hit publish. And we'll just say new. All right, now if we go back into our bubble application, let's actually try this out. So let's say stackless. And now let's hit update customer. You can see that blue line, it means it's obviously loaded, something's loaded. Go back to that new sheet. As you can see here, guys, we have that new customer that could have just signed up in a Google Sheet. Now if we go back to our Bubble application and go to our database, app data. We also have that signed up in our own application. So the customer is signed up and that's linked to our Bubble app in our database. And we're also storing that on a Google Sheet. You can do whatever you want with this. You can create email lists, send emails, whatever you really desire. So that's basically how to set up the Bubble and Zapier integration. I just thought I'd come on here and give you guys a quick demo on how to do it, just so you can learn sort of plugins and learn how powerful Bubble really can be. So thank you for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe, like and comment, and also sign up to the weekly newsletter. I sort of do a weekly newsletter where I give no-code tips and tricks, stuff that you don't see on my YouTube, to help you guys move forward along in your no-code journey. So thank you for watching, and also leave some comments about new video suggestions and I'll happily do whatever you guys want. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.